and super important part of information, and creates massive amounts of problems for us on transactions. But having incredible professionals like this to be able to push it through is really, really important. Look, I'm really conscious that we all want to just enjoy this wonderful venue and sit and have a drink and chat and network, and I think that's the main important thing. So I'm going to keep this really brief. It's for those of you who don't know who I am, I was one of the founding members of TheOrg, along with my amazing business partner James Hughes. And just to thank you all for coming along tonight. It's really humbling to 3.5 years into this, to have so many people at this incredible venue to come and listen to us talk and to what we're building. So I'm really, really excited to just put forward what I wanted to talk about, which was collaboration. And when we started this, when I first came into it, it was just myself and me. And the whole point of where I've come to is building this around collaboration. There are lots of people that start out in business ownership, and certainly within our organisation, within our industry, and they set out to build a business to sell homes and rent homes, and that's great. And there are people that create these wonderful businesses, but just themselves. But our industry has always been about competition. And when I was at Foxtons, when I was at D&G, whatever high street agency you work at, it's always about you and your market share, and closed off, and never about anyone else, and about collaboration. And previous speaker was about collaboration not being an important word, but for me it really is, because it's the lifeblood of what we teach and what we try to instill within our people that join us, is that working together is for the greater good of the client is the most important thing. So I'm just going to give you sort of a bit of an overview. So we started out with just myself back in 2021. We're now up to 86 agents. We've got a couple of other people that are still pending. My sort of internal goal was to reach 100 by the end of June, which I think we very much will do. And that is not just built by myself. And the thing is, I wanted to highlight from this, just to show you that it's not just me, okay? So I on my top level, you'll see level 1 there. Level 1 introductions is my 10 people. My 10 core people are people like Elspeth, James, Daniel Archer, who's not here today, unfortunately, Jose, there's a number of people, Anthony's here. There's people that I personally brought in is 10. But this organisation of 86 has been built by everyone else. So you can see 27 on my level 2, that's level 1s that brought in level 2, level 2s brought in 27, then down to 13, down to 8, down to 1. It's a collective collaboration. It's the work by everyone, not just by me, it's everyone else. Okay, so I just wanted to sort of put that out there. It's not built by me, it's not built by James, it's built by everyone within this room that engages within it, and EXP gives us it rewards those that help to build it. So I just wanted to show you the things that are built into collaboration and how we are empowered to do this. So this is a couple of screenshots from our internal, firstly, it's powered by Facebook, it's called Workplace, and you have access to that from the outset. And firstly, within an internal point of view, we have groups, which, this is EXP UK referrals. It's a group that if people have any kind of listings, you can put them out there. You can collaborate. James had a person that just put out a post saying that they had something in Bournemouth. You managed to then put those person in touch with someone else, and has made them fee off it, just from our internals. We've got chats. We've got a ability to be able to connect with anyone, not just in the UK, but internationally. There are 96,000 brokers across the world now, and you have that on your phone. James, we talk about when you were at CBRE, you had people that were in the China desk, you had referrals to make out to different parts of the world, but you don't know who those people are, and there's no connection, there's no understanding. And with this, it's all documented. I've had referrals from people from Dubai, from India. I had a chap that called me from India. I met him in Lisbon. We went on an EXP conference last year, and he messaged me about 5 weeks later after I met him in a bar. We were just chatting, and he sent me a message saying, I've got an investor that he's in Mumbai, and the investor had a place to sell in Leicester, and that property was a £5 million property with 50 acres of land, and he messaged me from India and said, can you help me list this? And I put him in touch with a guy who deals with that part of the world, and I make a 20% cut on that, just by making those connections. And the connections are just incredible. The ability to collaborate not only within your own little sphere of influence, but globally, it blows my mind. And sometimes it's just overlooked. We talk about sort of, international companies like Knight Frank, Savills, all of these big agents, but do they really actually collaborate? No, they don't. Luxury real estate, I think just I wanted to touch on this. We've got a couple of new faces in the room that are starting to move into this sphere in prime central London. There's a misconception, I think, in the general population that EXP agents just deal with the sort of lower end and the sort of the core marketplace. But there are individuals, myself included, who have just sold 2 properties which went on a £2.5 million valuation today. We've sold one at 2 million, another one at 1.7 million. If you see Daniel Archer is not here today, his portfolio is 30, 40 properties strong, over 1.5 million. We have a great presence in luxury. The collaboration, again, this is our CRM system, which is part of what we get given. And when you list a property on there, you can obviously keep it for yourself, but if you wish, and let's say, so I take a buyer that, and this is one of the things going back to the patch, I think that Scott mentioned when he was talking on his talk, working in Billericay, he was looking at other brokerages and they had a very constrained couple of postcodes that you can work for. If you take a listing and then you show that buyer around and they say, well, actually, I've got something to sell in Essex. Well, if you're constrained to a patch or an office, what can you do with that? You might be able to refer it across, but can you actually make anything from it? Well, built into EXP's Loop framework, there is a referral network. You just basically put in the instruction, and you'll see on the right here, it's taken the the vendor's location, and it's given me 3 brokers there who are there to offer me whether I want a fee from it. Now, Ravi's offering me 25%. Jonathan, unfortunately, I don't think he's set it up properly because he's got 0%. He's not going to get many referrals. And then Mark Goodoo-Docker, who unfortunately is not with us today, he's alive, but he's just not here. He's offering 30%. So he says that you can see how many sold, you see how much he's got on the market. What I would probably do is call these people. Ravi's here, I think, in the room today. I might go, do you know what, Ravi, let's do some business. And I'll just click that little button, and that gets referred across. And one of the things that people worry about when they refer business is, God, am I ever going to chase that guy to get paid? Like, what do I trust them? Are they actually going to do what they say they're going to do? And really, are you going to, if they don't pay you, are you going to sue them? Are you going to go down the lawyer route and try and chase them if they decide to change the goalpost? Well, you click that button there, and when that deal goes through, I referred a property about 5 or 6 months ago to a guy, I think it's in Staffordshire, and I forgot that I'd sent it, and 6 months later I got an email through me saying, can you send us an invoice for £2,000? What the hell is that? I was like, oh God, I forgot, I sent that referral over. It's all logged, it's controlled. There's no way that person's getting away from not paying you because it's already controlled. And that's amazing. So that was the EXP side of things on collaboration. What we built, and James touched on this in his presentation as well, we started off with me, James, then more and more we started to build, and we started off with just a single WhatsApp group, and very quickly it got very noisy. A lot of chat, a lot of banter, a lot of football from James, lots of other stuff. But also things like open houses, collaboration work, new listings, buyer searches, rental searches. All of these things started to just get pushed around. So WhatsApp brought in communities, and we decided to work on that, and we built this community, which now has got over 89 members in it, which is amazing, and it starts to grow. And it's all sort of compartmentalized into different groups, and as others have already mentioned, you put something out there. This is the real draw from us, is that you've got answers from experts in all areas, but also, if you want a bit of chat, a bit of banter, you want to say happy birthday to someone, it's all got its place. And we find it works really well, and it means that you can engage in the bits that you want to engage in. And we hope to build this completely and can keep it going. I just wanted to highlight one real sort of key point on collaboration. Unfortunately, again, Dan can't make it today. He's got his kids going through his A-levels. I think a few of the members today have children of that age, and it's exam season. But so Daniel Archer is an incredible agent. It's my one of my tier ones, and you remember me saying he was working for a high street agent about 2 years ago, earning reasonably what he thought was really good money, sort of 70, 80 grand a year. But he got 5 children and was not really spending much time with his kids. And I introduced him to EXP, and I said to him, look, it's going to change your life. And now 2 years later, he's going to do over 400 grand this year, and he's got, as I said, more time with his kids, doing most incredible business. But anyway, I got referred to this listing. It was a £2 million apartment in Wimbledon Park, just off the Coombe estate. And I could have taken this myself. I could have just listed it. But I didn't, because I thought, do you know what? Daniel has got such a great presence in that area that I'm going to co-list it with him. So I spoke to him and I said, Dan, I'd love you to come on this valuation together. We also brought in Sonia. Sonia in the room, do you want to just put your hand up? There you go, Sonia. So Sonia's one of our, she's also a member of the XP, but she also runs an incredible staging business, London Property Staging. And staging homes is the way that the detail, but the ability to be able to present a property well is so important. And I met Sonia through BNI, and there's so many stages I've met in the past where people have always most stages want money up front. As agents, we don't take anything, well, some agents do, but in the majority, we take it on risk. So we take the listing and we back ourselves to produce and to sell, and we get paid on the completion. But everyone else in the transaction wants paid first. And staging is the same thing. The rhetoric that most stagers say is they say, look, if you stage a property, you're going to make more money. If you stage it, you're going to sell it quicker. But they won't pay now. They won't take it on risk. With some, working with Sonia, she builds certain things in. Sometimes she may take a part payment, maybe take it up front, maybe do a little bit. And I've just lost my slide, which is great. So staging this apartment was one side of it. Secondly, bringing Daniel Archer in was the second part to it. And we listed this, it was on with Robert Holmes. For those of you who know Wimbledon, Robert Holmes are the agent of choice for Wimbledon Village. They've got a lock on that area. They deal with all the high-end stuff. And they hadn't sold it. It's been on for 2.5 months. So we took it on, we staged it, we priced it properly, we used guide pricing, and we also ran an open house. And we had, I think, probably 8 or 9 brokers turn up. But actually, more importantly, Daniel had a buyer, and he sent the buyer down on the Brokers Open to join us on that day. And the buyer walked in, and we showed her around on the viewing with other brokers there on the Brokers Open, and she offered that day because she was like, wow, what's going on here? This is crazy. And she made an offer, and we just sold that at just over 2 million, and it's under offer, and it's gone. And that was through collaboration. Dan's making half, I'm making half, Sonia's got her fee on it as well. We're all happy. That vendor is over the moon. The buyers are really excited about it. And that will close. A non-chain sale, that's a £30,000 fee. That's going to go through in the next 4 weeks. So really, really pleased with that. Just to put on so further bits on collaboration. So James and I go to a lot of, and part of EXP is not just about this, what we do here. EXP is global, and they put on a lot of events. And I went to my very first event in 2022 in Orlando. It blew my mind, and since then I go to all of them, and I love it, not only because it's a great way of using company money for a bit of social, but it's also the people that you meet, the collaboration that you can create. I just told you a story about the gentleman that gave me a £5 million listing from India. That was from going to Lisbon and having a conversation. James and I met Cliff Freeman, the guy that makes 400 grand a month. I sat in a bar chatting to that guy. He's a multi-millionaire. And the bits of information I got from him, just by sat having a cocktail with him, was worth every penny of that trip. So we're off to Barcelona in June, on the 23rd. We're also off to Miami in October. Went to Miami last year, absolutely fantastic. So EXP agents that are in the room, these should be your goals. If you go to these, and there's a final point which you're going to go to the end of it, which makes it even more important to go to these things. Finally, there's the UK conference. Both myself and James are speaking at that conference. I'm talking about co-sponsorship, which I'm going to just touch on at the very end of this presentation. And James is going to talk about iconing. Just for those of you that don't know what iconing is a prestigious accolade given to top producing agents. James has hit 40 deals over cap to get that accolade. And it's not just a certificate, it's also It's also $16,000 in shares just gifted back to you to say thank you for being great. But anyway, just a huge shout out to James. For those who don't know from back in the day, he was called The Machine, and he really is The Machine. So huge congratulations to you, mate. The point here, which again for non-EXP people, you might not necessarily understand this, but I wanted to highlight it because going to these events now is even more important than it ever was. And that is because of co-sponsorship, and that's something which has just been brought in very, very new. In order to come into EXP, you can't just go and join. You can't be an EXP agent without someone bringing you into the business. Now, the power of collaboration, again, sort of highlighted, is now through co-sponsorship. So James and I were talking to a gentleman a couple of days ago who's up in the north of England, and in the past we would have to sponsor that guy and then try to help him grow his business from near Manchester. And the difficulty there is that obviously geographically we're not in the same space and we can't do that very easily. We can still do it. My sponsor, the person that brought me in, was from California. And my experience from that was, I got the odd pep talk every now and again, but I didn't really get any help on the ground. Now, with co-sponsorship, we can bring that person in, but we can also co-sponsor with a very, very top-level agent in the Manchester area. Bring that person in. That person can be their mentor and buddy to help them grow, but we can also benefit from that introduction. So going to these events and being part of it is not only your own development, but it's about self-advertising. Are you attractive? Look at the organisation that we have here. Do you think we're attractive? I mean, I don't think that. Here we are, right? So, if you want to go to the EXP UK conference, this is a QR code. I'm going to leave that up there if you want to go to it. If you're a non-EXP agent, it's going to cost you £100 for a 2-day conference to get huge amounts of information. If you're an EXP guy, get up there and go and network. Go to it. Honestly, you'll get more out of it than you ever think. That's it. That's me. I hope I'll move it as quick as possible. Guys, we've still got some drinks left. We've still got a bit of light. We've still got a bit of a sunset. Can I just ask, please, if you've enjoyed the event, Matt is going to give a couple of little soundbite reviews. If you want to take 10 seconds of your time just to stand in front of Matt and tell him if you've had a good day, if you've enjoyed it, if you've enjoyed the hospitality, if you've enjoyed the content, please can you also just post, tag, do as much on social media as you possibly can. I hope you had a great evening and enjoy the rest of it, and thank you for coming. That's it. Go and enjoy.